Today we're going to talk about draw, the way you use your fingers to pull the string. There are many ways, and obviously people know the two top ones, the Mediterranean draw. I'm using 2 fingers below, 1 finger on top. So using this technique probably allows you to pull the furthest draw weight because you're using 3 fingers. The thumb ring technique can also do this, but you have to have a thumb ring, and a lot of people don't. But if you don't have a thumb ring, you can still do it. It's just very painful. Putting the arrow on the same side as my bow hand. If I'm a lefty, to make it less confusing, if I'm a lefty, my string hand is my left hand. So I'm going to put my arrow on the opposite way, which is my bow hand, on my right side. If I'm a righty, I'm putting my arrow on my bow hand, which is left, so I'll put my arrow on my left. Now, for the thumb ring draw, there's a reason why you do it the other way. You're creating a moment with an arrow. I'm creating a moment when I have my thumb ring, because this index finger, when I pinch it in like that, there's this moment generated about the bow axis. So this arrow is going to go this way, and with contact here, it's a lot more stable. So with a thumb ring technique here, if I still put my arrow the same way as my Mediterranean draw, you're going to realize something. When I put that index finger, it wants to move that way. The moment is generated this way. And when I'm shooting, this is very likely to happen, okay? And that's why you put your arrow on the other side. And now you're going to realize lots of different new opportunities with the thumb ring technique. 1, I can shoot a righty bow now since I'm a lefty. Because the shelf is on the other way, I can actually shoot a righty bow. Now, that's 1. So for all you guys who bought the wrong side of the bow, it's not the wrong side. You didn't buy a righty or lefty, you just bought a righty for a Mediterranean and a lefty for a Mediterranean. Now you can actually shoot lefty bows if you're a righty. Now another thing with this is, if you put your arrow on the thumb ring, there's a lot more stability. When I'm pulling here, it doesn't matter how I move the arrow, it's not going to move. With the Mediterranean, however, when I'm putting it over here, okay, this arrow will tilt that way if it's done improperly. And in fact, a lot of people, when they first learn archery, they pinch this, and they're going to realize that the moment is generated that way. So you're going to start realizing the benefits of using thumb ring. That being said, you can actually put your arrow on the other side, but use a Mediterranean. But it's a lot harder because I have to pinch this. So when I'm pinching this, and I have to slightly tilt it the other way. You can still do it though, but you have to pinch it now. And for all those archery instructors teaching not to pinch it, if I put my arrow on the other way, you can actually now pinch the arrow. But now you have to pinch the arrow now. So there's different benefits of different techniques. So I talked about 2. Let's talk about some other ones. The Apache draw. Why would you ever use the Apache draw? For hunters, one of the things is you want to sight that arrow. If you don't have a sight, you want to use the arrow itself as a point of aim. If you want to use the arrow itself as a point of aim, if I have this index finger covering it, it may block that sight there. But another reason is because with the Apache draw, there's no index finger on top, which means there is no chance of you pinching that arrow. If it's all at the bottom here, see this? There's no way you can pinch it. It is on. It's like a crossbow now. It's on, it won't pinch, it won't tilt, it will shoot. And for hunters, this is reliable. You know that you won't accidentally pinch it because you're nervous and it pulls off. But another reason why we use Apache is for speed shooting. When I'm tilting my bow the other way, and I want to go here. When I put this on, so let me show you with the Apache draw. With my 3 arrows here, when I'm putting it on, and I want to draw this arrow, you want to tilt it the other way, and you're going to realize that I'm using my 3 fingers below and the thumb there to keep the knock on. So with the Apache draw, you can speed shoot with some variations. And the main reason for that is, well, you want to have as much fingers as possible while you're pulling the bow. And it's just not possible when you're holding this many arrows to put an index finger on top. That's why you would use the Apache draw. Now let's talk about another draw here. This is quite unique, and I don't have a name for it. When I hold my arrows and the fletchings are just below like this, I got a much more stable grip for speed shooting. And now each one of my knocks are in different positions, but they won't move. So I can just draw it. Now, by loading here, and you're still using 2 fingers below, 1 finger on top, 1 finger on top and 1 finger below. So, in summary, with speed shooting, sometimes the draw is not ideal, and you have to use 2 fingers instead of 3 on top, below, or 2 on top, depending on the orientation of your arrows. You just gotta get used to that. I don't have a specific name for it. It's just when you speed shoot, you can't have an idealized Mediterranean draw when you have that many arrows held in your hand. So in the end, I summarize, there's only really 2 techniques, and there's only 2 techniques, the Mediterranean draw and the thumb ring draw. Maximize my pull is if I load it like this, but then have my 3 fingers below. It is possible to do, see, this is a 55-pound bow and I'm pulling, it's possible to pull that. It's just very difficult, but when I have my 3 fingers below. So it's like Apache, but then you pinch it.